ശ്രീ സാമുൽ ജെറോം, പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് എങ്ങനെ അഭിനന്ദിക്കണമെന്ന് എനിക്ക് അറിയത്തില്ല, വാക്കുകളില്ല. തീർച്ചയായും വളരെ നല്ലൊരു ബിസിനസ്സുകാരൻ, ആ ബിസിനസിന്റെ എല്ലാ കംഫോർട്ടിലും ജീവിക്കുന്ന നല്ലൊരു വ്യക്തിത്വം. എന്നിട്ടും പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് നിമിഷപ്രിയയുടെയും ഒപ്പം തന്നെ നേരത്തെ ഞാൻ അങ്ങേപ്പറ്റി വായിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്, ഫാദർ ടോം ഉഴുന്നാളിന്റെ ഒക്കെ ആ ഒരു മോചനവുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് അങ്ങ് വളരെ റിസ്ക് എടുത്ത് പല ചർച്ചകളിലും ഒക്കെ പങ്കാളിത്തം വഹിക്കുന്നു. എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഈ ഒരു കേസിൽ അങ്ങ് ഇടപെടാനുള്ള ഒരു കാരണം, ശ്രീ ജെറോം?
എല്ലാവർക്കും നമസ്കാരം. And may the grace of our God and Lord God Jesus be with everyone. And I'll be speaking in I can understand Malayalam, but I cannot converse in Malayalam, so I'll be speaking in English.
Okay,
so I'm sorry about that. There are two things very specifically that I want to tell you. I mean, actually, I came to Yemen in 1999, and by 2000 we were well settled. But since 2000, I had been involved in social service, in a sense, like whichever to my capability. But primarily, I have a conviction through the Word of God, and I'm just going to read two Bible verses, and it is actually Galatians chapter 6, verse 2. It says, "Bear one another's burden, and so fulfill the law of Christ." So bearing others' burden is fulfilling the law of Christ. This is my conviction why I am doing social service. But specific to Nimisha's case, there are two other verses that I want to share with you. It is Proverbs 3:27. "Do not withhold good from those to whom it is due, when it is in the power of your hands to do so." So when we have to do good to others, and when it is in our hands, then we need to do it. But then finally, there's a beautiful verses in the Bible. It's very straightforward, which is actually for Nimisha's case. It is Proverbs 24:11. It says, "Deliver those who are drawn towards death, and hold back those stumbling to the slaughter." So that is the conviction. That is my primary conviction why I get involved into this. Then secondly, as an Indian national, I don't want Indian blood to be shed in a foreign country.
Okay.
That these two are my utmost convictions. So that is the base of my convictions why I got involved into this, and I stand very strong to my convictions.
ഓക്കെ, ശ്രീ സാമുൽ ജെറോം, പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് ഈ കേസിലേക്ക് വരുമ്പോൾ, പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് കേരളത്തിലെ മാധ്യമങ്ങളിൽ പല തരത്തിലുള്ള, പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് പല ടെക്നിക്കൽ ടേംസ്, ഈ ബ്ലഡ് മണി, പ്രീ നെഗോസിയേഷൻ, അങ്ങനെ പല കാര്യങ്ങളും ചർച്ചയാകുന്നുണ്ട്. ഇപ്പോൾ നടക്കുന്ന ഈ മോചന ശ്രമങ്ങളുടെ ഒരു പുരോഗതി എത്രമാത്രമാണ്? നമുക്കറിയാം, ഈ യമനിലെ പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് നിമിഷപ്രിയ കഴിയുന്ന ആ ഒരു മേഖലയിൽ പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് ഗോത്ര വിഭാഗങ്ങളാണ്, അവരുടെ ഒരു നിയമമാണ് അവിടെ പ്രാബല്യത്തിലുള്ളത്. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ സ്റ്റേറ്റ് ഗവൺമെന്റിന് ഇടപെടാനൊക്കെ ഒരു പരിമിതിയുണ്ട് എന്ന് മനസ്സിലാക്കുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ ഈ മോചന ശ്രമങ്ങളുമായി നടക്കുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങളുടെ ചർച്ചകളുടെ ഒരു പുരോഗതി എത്രത്തോളമുണ്ട്? ഈ നെഗോസിയേഷൻ എവിടം വരെ എത്തി? പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് അങ്ങ് പല ചാനലുകൾക്കും നൽകിയ അഭിമുഖത്തിൽ പറഞ്ഞതുപോലെ പ്രീ നെഗോസിയേഷൻ, അത്തരം കാര്യങ്ങൾ ആരംഭിച്ചോ? എത്രത്തോളം ഒരു ശുഭ പ്രതീക്ഷയുണ്ട് ഇതുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് അങ്ങേക്ക്?
Okay, see, Yemen is very unique from any other Gulf countries. Yemen is very much a tribal society, and so the tribal leaders, what is that? Their rule, it cannot be said rule, but our name of that is what plays a very big role here. So unlike other countries, I don't know how the blood money negotiations are happening in other countries, but here it doesn't happen directly. Maybe I and Amma would never get a chance to meet their family directly, or maybe towards the end we might have a chance to meet them. But then we will, I'm just giving you an outline how it is going to. We will assign some people on our behalf to go and talk to their family tribal leaders. It's not directly talk between the family, so it is the tribal leaders. So then the tribal leaders will make a decision, and the family will be part of that decision, and that decision will be conveyed to our people. And if that in those negotiations, if they agree to forgive, then there will be a blood money that will be discussed among the tribal sheikhs. This is the general frame of how the things will go. So, but then there could be a little bit differences, not exactly the way that I say, but there could be a little bit differences. So primarily, now we have already we already selected who will be going on our behalf. So I cannot reveal very detailed things at this, because still it's in a very early stage. So, and those people, once this really starts, it is going to start very soon. There are the pre-negotiation money. We should receive the pre-negotiation money and all those things. Once we start, then it will really start. So once that starts, then our people will go and meet their people. Then they will pledge some assets. There are some assets to be pledged to that people, and if they are willing to accept that pledge, then it means by the time we will know that everything is going good. But at this point of time, things are very positive. I mean, we haven't got any negative. They know that we are already here, and they know Amma is already here. So we haven't seen any negative reactions from them. So we are considering it positive. And also through our channels, we are in touch with the tribal leaders of there. We are also in touch with their tribal leaders.
ഓക്കെ. ഒപ്പം തന്നെ ഈ തലാലിന്റെ ഫാമിലിയുമായിട്ട് ഒരു കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേഷൻ പോസിബിൾ ആയിട്ടുണ്ടോ? അവരുടെ ഭാഗത്തു നിന്നുള്ള ഒരു റെസ്പോൺസ് എങ്ങനെയാണ് ശ്രീ സാമുവൽ?
We don't need to actually communicate with the family directly. See, let me tell you something. It's also, like, I mean, I did meet, I mean, I met Talal's brother in every court session, during every court session, and he is not hostile towards me in a sense, because he knows that I am somewhere in the middle. So he knows that. So he's not hostile towards me. But then that doesn't mean that we can just call him and talk to him about blood money. You need to understand that that's very uncivilized, and that might end up very badly. So that just because that I know them or we are in touch with them doesn't mean that this blood money negotiations happen directly. It cannot happen, and it will not happen at all. So we have to go through the proper channel, the tribal channel, and that is when then things will happen. So we don't have to talk to the family directly, or there would be no need to that. It will be communicated through the tribal leaders.
ഓക്കെ, വ്യക്തമാണ്. ഒപ്പം തന്നെ മറ്റൊരു പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട ഒരു കാര്യം കൂടിയുണ്ട്. ഈ കേസിന്റെ ഒരു ഗ്രാവിറ്റി, ഒരു സീരിയസ്നെസ്. നേരത്തെ അമ്മ സൂചിപ്പിച്ചതുപോലെ നിമിഷപ്രിയ ഇപ്പോൾ ജീവനോട് തന്നെ ഇരിക്കുന്ന ദൈവത്തിന്റെ വലിയൊരു കരുണ തന്നെയാണ്. കാരണം ഞാൻ സൂചിപ്പിക്കാനുള്ള ഒരു പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട ഒരു കാരണം, നിമിഷപ്രിയയുടെ ഒരു എക്സിക്യൂഷൻ അത് ഏത് നിമിഷവും സംഭവിക്കാം എന്നുള്ളൊരു സ്റ്റേജിലാണ് നിൽക്കുന്നത്. അതുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട ഒരു ഓർഡർ ഈ പറയുന്നത് പോലെ യമൻ പ്രസിഡന്റ് പാലസിൽ നിൽക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ ഇതിന്റെ ഒരു സീരിയസ്നെസ് എത്രത്തോളം ഉണ്ട് എന്ന് അങ്ങൊന്ന് പങ്കുവെക്കാം. പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് നമുക്കറിയാം ദൈവത്തിന് സാധ്യമായിട്ട് യാതൊന്നുമില്ല എന്ന് നമുക്കറിയാം. പക്ഷേ എങ്കിൽ പോലും ആ ഒരു ഗ്രാവിറ്റി പ്രേക്ഷകർക്കായിട്ടൊന്ന് പങ്കുവെക്കാം.
See, people should not take this very lightly. And I want to actually quote something what the lawyer told me. He said that, Sam, you are already late. If you had come a month later, I'm saying this because I want people to understand the gravity of the situation. Everything would have finished. Even the execution would have finished if you would have come a month later. So that is the gravity of the situation. It's utmost, we are, we have crossed all lines. We have crossed the red line, and we are almost, we are very much in the end of the things. So since people see it in the media, people should not take this lightly. We are almost at the finish line. We are almost at the finish line. That is the reality. Yes.
ഒപ്പം തന്നെ യമൻ ഭരണകൂടത്തിന്റെ ഒരു മനോഭാവം എങ്ങനെയാണ്? അവർ സഹകരിക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ ഈ വിഷയങ്ങളുമായിട്ട് ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട്?
I didn't understand. Can you say it in English, please?
Yeah. What's the response of the Yemen government, official government authorities regarding this case?
See, I'll tell you something. This is a very good question. As a matter of fact, as Mother said, we are very indebted to the government of Yemen. Okay. There have been several cases after Nimisha's case, which has happened and judgment has passed and execution has been completed. Several cases. But since in Nimisha's case, it is by the grace of God and with the kind-heartedness of the Yemen government, they have pulled it so long. This is the first case that has taken so long. Not because of our legal capabilities, because the government did not push it fast. And you need to understand, Talal's family, they made a very big rally and demonstration against their own government, stating that they are very slow, and despite all the pressure, and I've already written this to our government, and despite all this pressure, they are still holding. And that is, even the judges and everybody is always waiting that there will be an amicable solution and Nimisha will go free. So they are wanting that to happen, So that is why they are not. I will not say that they are delaying because
Oh,
of that,
okay.
but somehow the process is slow. That we have the chance to come out with a positive resolution.
Okay. My last question to you, Mr. Samuel. We are all hearing the news regarding the attacks from the Houthi groups. Recently, one of our Indian ships has been attacked and all. Is it a matter of concern that the area where Nimisha Priya is in jail is under the control of the Houthi group, as far as I know? So, is that a serious matter of concern?
Absolutely no. I'll tell you something. Indians are very, very, very highly respected in Yemen and also in North Yemen. And as you would know that I was there 1 year in India now before coming here. My wife was here alone. If that would have been a concern, who would let his wife to be here? That would not be there. And I am living in this country since 1999. Even in the peak of war in 2016, there was no security concerns for Indians. But even in this current scenario, the situation might look like there is a chance of confrontation, but within the government or within the people, because I know the highest top. I communicate with the top people in the government. There is no anomalies, nothing, not even a small hint of whatsoever. They respect Indians. The government respect our Indian governments. So it is an absolutely a wonderful relationship, I would say.
Okay. I know the time is exceeding, but one more last question to you, Mr. Samuel. I know you were involved in the discussion regarding the release of Father Tom Ulnalil. Can you reveal it in a brief? What has happened in that case? In the case of Father Tom.
Okay. Again, there are things that I cannot share very openly. What happened when this situation happened in Aden? I was the first person to write to the government of India with all the details. Even before our embassy staff knew, I got my information from my people.
Okay.
But then when Father Tom was kidnapped, I had my own sources of information where I was able to see where Father Tom was.
Okay.
And even actually until today, I have that. I was in touch, with the police people where they sent me the investigation. The police caught the people who did that, and that investigation video, and which I already sent it to the government of India. Then I had a face-to-face meeting with the emissary of the people who kidnapped Father Tom. I was the first one. They came and met me face to face, and then I communicated all to General V.K. Singh, and who was then a foreign minister, Minister of State for External Affairs, who was absolutely a wonderful person. As a matter of fact, he was such a, I don't know, I don't have words to really appreciate him. And every time, sometimes I had spoken with him at night, 1 o'clock. He was able to talk to me with regard to Father Tom. So that is how, I cannot go into details. And then the government took that initiative. So initially, I was completely ensuring that Father Tom was safe and all those things. And I was communicating with the government, all those things, and had a face-to-face meeting with the emissary of the guys who kidnapped Father Tom. And from then on, the government took it in their hands, and we were able to secure the release of Father Tom.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Mr. Samuel Jerome, for spending your valuable time. Also, I'm expressing my sincere gratitude to you, being a good Samaritan to the family of Nimisha Priya. So we all hope that good news will receive from Yemen regarding the incident connected to Nimisha Priya. So may God bless all our efforts regarding the release of Nimisha Priya. Thank you, Mr. Samuel Jerome.
All praise and glory be to God alone. Yes, God has put me in this position, and I've done. If not me, God would have used somebody else to do this. Okay. So all glory be to God alone.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Mr. Samuel. Thanks a lot.